Hello again, everyone. Today I am in Sacramento, California. Actually, I'm in the old part of Sacramento. And today I'm going to visit the California State Railroad Museum, which is right here across the street. Zoom in a little bit. I'm here early. The museum doesn't open till 10. It's only about 9 o'clock right now. But I wanted to come early. There's a couple of things outside here I wanted to show you. And like I said, this is the old part of Sacramento. And this is an area, it's about 4 blocks, maybe 5 blocks. The old part of town. You can see here some of the old buildings. Like I said, it's about 4 or 5 blocks. It continues on further down in that direction. And out here there's a couple of cars. There's a box car, tank, and a UP caboose. Over on this side too is the Sacramento History Museum. See, they're doing some work. They're erecting fences. Not sure what kind of work they're doing. I haven't asked anybody yet. Maybe I'll get a chance to ask someone. But over here, a neat old crane. Not sure if they ever had that sitting on a flat car at one point to do some maintenance away work, or if it's always been a stationary and just used it here to load and unload things. It looks like they're doing some track work over here too. There's always maintenance to do on a railroad. In the background you can see the switcher moving some cars around. But they're doing a little bit of track work here. Morning.
Morning.
Looks like you're getting ready to do some work.
Yes, sir.
What are they going to be doing?
Just building fence.
I know, but why are you putting the fence up? What's going on?
We don't know. We're just fence builders.
You're just the fence builders.
Yeah, just the fence guys.
All right, guys, I'm sorry.
No, you're all good, man.
All right, have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, I made it into the museum. I didn't have to fill out any paperwork to do any videoing. They said as long as you're not using a tripod, I'm good to go. And one of the first things you see when you enter the museum is this 440, which is called the Governor Stanford. And it's called a 440 because there's 4 wheels in the front and then 4 drive wheels in the back. There's no wheels in the back. That's what the O is. So it's 440. And here's a little information on this locomotive. I'll let you pause it, video, and you can read this at your leisure. "10 miles of track in one day, April 28th, 1869. Those guys worked hard that day. A lot of work. I wonder if they got paid overtime or extra. I doubt it. Here's a display from the Golden Spike ceremony, which happened on May 10th, 1869. And this is when the rails that came from the east and the rails that started on the west, they met at Promontory Point. And this is the Jupiter, which is one of the trains that was at that ceremony. And this is a very famous photograph here of the 2 trains meeting after the Golden Spike was laid. Looks like they had some champagne to celebrate. A couple of very old wooden passenger cars from the Nevada Central Railway. This one was named the Silver State. Let's see if we can get a look inside real quick. Nice. And on the other side, some other wooden passenger cars. These are from the Virginia Truckee Railroad. This is the baggage and express car. I can't see too far into here. Let's see if we can see something from this side. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. There we are. Even though it's a baggage car, there were seats in there too. Interesting. I thought it would be just completely for baggage. But it had a combined use. This car didn't have a name, just had a number 16. Unlike this one, like I had mentioned earlier, this one had a name. It's called the Silver State. Another old car from the Monterey and Salinas Valley Railroad. And another car that kind of in disrepair. Maybe someday they'll get around to repairing it. This shows the interior construction. This looks like some silverware from dining car service. This was definitely from first class service. I don't think it was this fancy for the everyday passenger. Over here there's a locomotive, North Pacific Coast Railway. And the name of this engine is the Sonoma. Let's see what the fireman and the engineer are doing. The builder's plate showing it was built in 1876. The Baldwin Locomotive Works.
Sweet, so we can walk around, we can go to all the different floors, we can walk around and check.
Up here, it's like you can go inside a cab to a locomotive. A bunch of people going up there now. Maybe we'll go up there a little bit later. There's a couple of hundred school children here today, so you'll see them periodically. But here's the CP Huntington. And some information on this locomotive. Again, you can pause the video. You can read this at your leisure. Here's the rest of that locomotive. That's a cab forward. We've got the cab at the front of the locomotive. And then the coal cars in the back. That's a big locomotive. Some information about that. It was a Southern Pacific Railroad locomotive number 4294. Another locomotive from the Virginia and Truckee Railroad called the Empire. I said this was a coal car for this cab forward locomotive. Let's see if we can look in the back. No. That's what the back looked like.
Let's go up one layer. Okay, let's go.
Okay, next, we got a little switcher here, and then there's a cutaway of, I'm not sure, is it an E or an F, and there's the prime mover. That's the diesel motor that ran a generator, that ran the electric motors in the trucks. And over here, it's a snowblower. Very, very large snowblower. See, over here is the working end of it. And that would just spin and go through the snow as the train was moving forward, and would throw the snow up at the top and then away. Here's a little information about it. Okay, it's an F7. I wasn't sure if it was an E or an F. I'm not that big of a buff to know all the locomotives by sight, but this was an F7. Got another Virginia and Truckee Railroad locomotive here to Dayton. It's another 440. This is locomotive number 18. Here's a Fruit Rose Express refrigerator car. They will put blocks of ice into these cars on either end. There's someone up there on the top loading the ice now. More modern passenger car, probably from the 1940s, maybe 30s even. Cochiti? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. The Santa Fe Railroad. It's actually the diner car. The dinner in the diner. Some of the plates used. Some information on this car. 1937, so I was pretty close. I said 30s. It looks like we can walk through here as well. Let's take a quick walk through. Excuse me. This was a fancy dining car. It's real silverware.
here. Very good. Well, thank you. Very good class. Artistic musical class, right?
And we got the kitchen, the hard-working kitchen workers. What's on the menu today, guys? That was a dining car back in the day. So look at that refrigerator car that was used to carry produce, and the produce would be in crates like this. Here's a variety of different fruits and vegetables that were shipped. California's nowadays provides about 50% of all the food grown in this country. Might have been more or maybe even a little less back in the day. There's quite a bit of farming going on in California. And this is what the interior of the car looked like. You can see how they pack the crates. And on this side they have a cutaway to show blocks of ice that were put on either end to keep the interior cool. Okay, I'm up on the third floor now. The third floor is dedicated to what they call toy trains or scale model trains. This display is for the Lionel electric trains. 3-rail trains. Probably everybody in my age group, or most of us, had a Lionel train at one point.
Oh, it goes down from here.
Another display of trains over here. This is the collection of from Thomas W. Sefton. This is part of his huge collection. Not only trains, but also tin plate trucks, airplanes. These are toys from 1900 to 1925. I believe you had to be the child of a wealthy person to afford these. More from the early years.
Once we get on the train. Yeah.
Some accessories to put on your layout, structures, some little people, tools, tunnel. These are from 1925 to 1940. Some of you out there might have had one of these. Nice collection. 3-rail O. Morning.
Morning.
How are you?
It's daylight just coming up, so we change.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So I want to show you something that I think, since you're filming this, will be the best.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Coming through that tunnel right now, you're going to see the loco, and that is the best film as it wraps around the corner.
Oh, awesome.
And it's a passenger.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, that was great. There's the roundhouse.
There's the roundabout.
Yep. Do some reload and unload the freight.
There are no other children here.
I got here at a good time.
What you got here in the best? One of the tracks, which is the blue passenger up in the mountains.
Right.
Okay. Do you want me to press or do you want to press it?
Press it.
And the passenger cars, the lights inside will come on.
Neat. Thank you again.
You're very welcome.
Do you know where
Cool. I did get here at a good time. Let's see what else is here. Thank you again. Here's a nice diorama, some lumber action going on. It's a beautiful diorama. Someone did a nice job. More Lionel trains. Gilbert, erector sets. Who had one of those? I did. With the metal pieces to it with the nuts and the bolts. Pretty much build whatever you wanted to, whatever your imagination could come up with. Another little diorama here, snow scene, steam locomotive at a water tank. Again, very nice modeling. One more diorama here. This looks like N scale. Large scale model here. I'm not sure what scale this is. Maybe it'll tell me over here. Oh, this is live steam. And this was after my time, but there's Thomas the Tank Engine. Not sure if they still make any of those. Anyone tell me? Thomas the Tank Engine, are there new episodes being made? It's a Brio train set. Those are popular with the kids. They didn't have that when I was a kid. Oh, they got a whole train up here. You get an overhead view of the first floor. And this locomotive is from the Nevada Short Line. This looks like it's a 260. There's some information on it. And there's a string of cars behind it. You got a box car, Southern Pacific. Oh, somebody's bumming a ride. You better watch out for the rail police before they get you. He's got a nice cigar going too. An old tank car. I use to transport oil. And a caboose. Don't really use cabooses anymore. There's a conductor. Could be a brakeman too, not sure. One of the two. Is there anything else around this corner? Let's see. Wow, more model trains. Oh, here's a dispatcher's desk. Dispatcher is the one that controlled the switches. Had to make sure that trains didn't run into each other. Very important job. We controlled the interlocking. Interlockings, there's an example of an interlocking. An interlocking is again a set of tracks where you can move from one track to another. And that was all controlled back in the day by a desk like this. Now it's a little more modernized. And here's some current day model building accessories. Things for scenery, how-to books, plastic kits by Walters. Some train sets down here. Track. Back when I was a kid, all the trains were run by DC. You could only run one train at a time. Nowadays, you can use DCC, where there's a chip inside each locomotive, and each locomotive has a unique ID to it. You can call up that ID on your remote control and run each train independently, and you could run numerous trains at one time by number of people on one layout. Ah, the modeling bench. I'm sure a lot of you have one of these in your basement or in your spare room. These all look like HO. Whole wall of HO cars. Except for these on the top. 7/16 scale. I'm not familiar with that. Interesting. Sorry it's so noisy in here. And there's a small layout here. HO layout. And one more exhibit here. Magazines. We've all.
It was a great day to come.
One last exhibit here is magazines. You know, we've all had our collections of magazines. Model Railroader. I had a subscription to that. Narrow Rails, Scale Rails, Timber Times, Fine Scale Railroader. Familiar with all of those. And then when I sold my house and moved, I threw them all away. Ooh, there's some nice dioramas. Lime kiln. This looks like end scale. This looks like a lumber mill. Ore dock. Complete with a lighthouse on top. There's a farm. No, not a, well, part of a farm, a little town. San Juan Central. Oh, I didn't realize this was in here. This is Malcolm Furlow's San Juan Central. I was not aware this was here. This is a pretty famous layout. Featured in Model Railroader magazine. Wow, this is a treat. I wasn't expecting to see this.
Something cool. Let's put on the big tree. Something.
Let's see if I can step back. You can see the whole layout. It's not really that big, but there's a lot of detail packed into this little layout. Gorgeous. Gorgeous layout. Wow. Again, very happy to see this here. This is a big diorama. I actually call this a mini layout, a shelf layout, depicting Chama, New Mexico. The coal tower over here, the sand pit. Freight yard. Another nice layout over here. Smuggler's Cove. Another pretty famous layout. This one is from, is this Malcolm Furlow? No, not, I was, I'm sorry. Michael Flack, I'm sorry. Beautiful seaport town here. Beautiful layout. Beautiful. You gotta be kidding. Where's this at? Gordon. Is this layout here too? I don't see it. There's a very large trestle with a train on it. I gotta find out. Is it around the corner here? No. I gotta find out about this Gore and Defeat It. Maybe it's coming, or it's someplace else. I gotta find out. I'll ask. That's a very famous layout, probably the most famous. All right, I'll let you know what I find out. Okay, I asked about the Gore and Defeat It. They don't have it here. They just have that one large mural on the wall there. But I'm still glad to see all those other little layouts, especially the Malcolm Furlow one. That was a good treat. And that's going to do it for today here at California State Railroad Museum. I enjoyed it. There's a lot of nice exhibits here. Hello there. And I found out a really good tip. Come here in the afternoon, because apparently these kids, when they come, they clear out of here at before lunchtime, and then it's much quieter here in the afternoon. So I apologize for all the background noise, but I can't help it. They're kids. They're having fun. Kids doing what kids do. But I still enjoyed it. A lot to see here. I didn't get to film every single little exhibit here. There's a lot to see. It's well worth coming. It was $12 for me to come in here. Pretty reasonable price, I thought. More kids coming in. I didn't think there'd be this many kids in this town, but I was talking to this one woman, and she says when she was a kid, she lived in Fresno, and she came here, and they go, how far is Fresno from here? She goes, 4 hours. So they bring kids from all over. But again, still worth coming. They have excursion trains that you could ride. You buy tickets for that. I'm not doing that today. But this was a very, very nicely done museum. A couple of nice surprises thrown in too. So I'm going to say goodbye. I got to get back to my van before it gets towed and the meter runs out. So I appreciate you watching. If you've enjoyed this, please hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button as well. Helps us with the YouTube algorithm. I know you've heard that all before. And until the next time, keep smiling. Remember, all shall be well. Be very grateful for everything you have. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.